Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Neon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And it's time for another daily dose of dismal Disney. And look, it's not just us anymore. It's not just YouTubers anymore.
Everybody hates Disney. It's because it's cool and it's safe now.
Well, MatPat, for starters, film theorist, put this video out today, I guess. It was number 6 on trending on YouTube.
Oh, yeah, so it's okay when it's safe. Because
When
everybody
it's safe.
like us took all the arrows. Now MatPat feels he can do it safely without getting his ass kicked. Then he'll do it.
Yep, that is exactly it. He is saying a lot of the things that YouTubers like us are not on the same subscriber level as MatPat had been saying for years. But we had to be called Nazis and racists and bigots and homophobes
Lost
and all that.
media access, everything
Lost
else.
media
but,
access.
Now that it's safe.
Now it's trending. Now it's trending on YouTube. So congratulations, MatPat. Anyway, we're gonna talk about this because again, it's not just YouTubers. Actually, the mainstream media is talking about how Disney has lost its way. It can't make hits like it used to. What the hell happened? If only people had been there to warn us, ahead of time.
People have been making videos since like 2018 saying, hey, there are some problems here.
There's some problems. They're going to hit an iceberg, guys. Hey, you're going to hit an iceberg. It's kind of like the steamroller in Austin Powers going real slow. Like, hey, get out of the way, get out of the way. It took like 5 years to get to this point. Anyway, we're going to talk about all of this. Before we get into it any further, one, I want to ask you to subscribe. You'll get a woohoo if you do.
Woohoo!
And two, we have a message from our sponsor. Before we get back into the video, I want to talk about Skillshare. Skillshare is the sponsor of this video. And guys, they have all kinds of programs. If you are interested in learning more about animation or art or programming or entertainment, so many of the things that we talk about on this channel, Skillshare may be the right place for you. Skillshare is an online learning community with thousands of online classes and members who come together to find inspiration and take the next step in their creative journeys, a place to get inspired, learn new skills, and put them to work in impactful ways. Just logging into Skillshare and looking for animation, look at all of these fantastic learning opportunities. We've got Procreate Animation, Blender Start, and Immersive Blender Crash Course. That sounds like fun. Body Movement Series, animating a heavy run cycle on the spot. 46 people checking this out. So much that you can learn online without leaving your house. It's such a great thing now that we can do this. We can do this with technology. If you're looking for a way to level up your career or start a new side hustle, Skillshare has classes in freelancing, entrepreneurship, marketing, social media, user interface, user experience, productivity, and more. Want to unlock your creativity and learn something new? Skillshare is giving you a 1-month free trial when you use my link in the description. Again, hit the link in the description. Join the largest online learning community for creatives. Check out Skillshare, and now let's get back to the video. I think a lot of people are going to be looking to brush up on their animation and art skills. Maybe even some people at Disney, given the state of the company. And I think the one bright side to this is that there are going to be a lot of alternatives. I think people are going to look elsewhere for animation and art content. Maybe you are the one to give them that content. It could be you. So brush up on those skills. All right, let's get into this video. This is coming from Newsweek. Freaking Newsweek. Why Disney can't make hits like it used to.
I just want Disney to go back to what you just said. I want Disney to go back to what they were. I don't want it to fail. I just want them to pull their head out of their ass and start, being Disney again.
I think that was kind of my thought process for many years. I'm still of the mindset. I just don't know if Disney at this point can be saved. Now, we had Troy Levitt on the podcast the other night, and he worked on Disney Infinity, and it was sad because I was talking to him and I was remembering all the really good times that we had playing that game with the kids. And that was kind of when we were in our peak Disney fan phase. When that game was out, and we all loved Disney. We kind of ate, slept, breathed Disney. And then a couple of years after they canceled that game, like everything started to change with that company. And, you know, we talked about John Lasseter and how he got ousted. And that was a huge factor, I think, because you can see the correlation between them pushing Lasseter out and the decline in the quality of the animated
after
movies.
they ran out of the stuff that was already in the pipeline and started doing new things, they're not doing well.
Yeah, so everybody calling out, I love this, they're calling out Indiana Jones as being a massive failure. There are 3 or 4 articles that came out this week talking about how Indiana Jones was a massive, massive failure. But they said, it should have brought in at least $1 billion. They said it only made $369 million globally.
Well, yeah, because the choices they made. I mean, and there was things they could have still done. Some of the things they did, it would just change a few things, and it would have worked. But no. Have to show the toxic. We got to replace all the toxic male characters that everybody's known and loved for decades with women for no reason.
They said other titles underperformed. Now you can say it now. This is Newsweek. Again, this is Newsweek. This isn't some, this isn't
oh my
Breitbart.
God, they said Little Mermaid because they're racist and they're misogynists.
Ant-Man and the Wasp, Lightyear, and The Little Mermaid and Strange World all considered failures. Pixar animated studios also suffered its worst opening in 28 years with Elemental, which made just under $30 million on its opening weekend. Now, supposedly the story is Elemental actually rebounded a little bit.
I don't think it made the money they're saying it made.
400.
It's too high.
Take our word for it.
I think I think they did some questionable things. They might have done like free tickets overseas or something. I'm telling you, because that does not make sense.
So they're dancing around the issue. Okay, so they talk about what Bob Iger said during the earnings call, that he's going to be personally committed to spending more time and attention to make sure that they have quality movies from here on out. But meanwhile, as Snow White burns down in real time.
Yeah, but they're not canceling it.
Literally.
But they might cancel, Hunchback. But they're talking that they might be doing a live action Tiana, Princess and the Frog, I'm like, come on, just stop with the stupid live actions. Just stop, do it right down. Take some money back and just cancel it.
So their takeaway is not what we were hoping for. What we were hoping for, I think, as Disney fans, is a return to form, and we're hoping that with legacy IPs that they were gonna, use kid gloves and have a little more.
Oh, they use gloves, all right.
Lubed latex gloves, yeah. That they were gonna have a little more TLC in the handling of those properties, right? But their takeaway is Barbie did great. Let's do more Barbie.
But that's what's going to happen. And the reason Barbie did great was because the brand is such a world-renowned, recognizable brand. The movie itself, I will say it again, was part of a good movie. It was a lot of let's men suck, making jokes about men and the Snyder Cut and The Godfather and a bunch of other stuff. Because this person has a feminist agenda. She always does as a director. But there were parts of a good movie until they had to take it down to Gendaville. And that's what they're going to take away. We need more Gendaville movies, and then they're going to flop hard. You did. It's called Captain Marvel. Now it's going to be the Marvels.
Oh, the Marvels.
And they're going to bomb. You tried to shove agenda into Ant-Man and the Wasp, and it didn't go over well.
Yeah.
Your agenda movies are not things people want.
So they're trying to say that Disney needs to still bounce back from COVID. Experts.
Bullshit. No. That you can't use that excuse anymore. That was years ago.
But experts argue the studio needs to start making more bracingly fresh films.
Yes.
Recycling old IP like Indiana Jones or The Little Mermaid has turned audiences off.
Yeah, no more live action remakes.
Superhero fatigue.
You know what's funny? Before Iger was gone, he said that he thought that there was fatigue with Marvel and with Star Wars. And that was before he left.
For UCLA lecturer and film producer Tom Noonan, Disney has mistakenly lent into an over-reliance on the familiar. When we see Barbie from Warner Brothers and Oppenheimer from Universal performing so well, the message seems clear. Make original, bracingly fresh films.
Yes, this is Geeky Sparkles. I have a degree, but I'm not from UCLA, thank God. And I'm not a lecturer or film producer, but I know what the fuck I'm talking about. And I said the same thing before Tom did. Not me. Not you, the whatever, Tom, the film lecturer, blah, blah, blah. I'm pompous. And I say this now, even though everybody else has been saying it for years.
Let's see. We got Axio saying Disney dilemma underscores media's existential crisis. Disney's having an existential crisis. They don't know what to do. And it's because of macroeconomic circumstances and people changing the way they consume content. That's why Disney's not doing so good.
Right. It couldn't be because they're putting out subpar shit. It couldn't be because they're overcharging at the theme parks and they're making it ridiculously hard to use the theme parks. Couldn't be because of that. Couldn't be because everything associated with Disney is too damn expensive and you're paying more for less and you're getting less offering. They take more away. Quality's down. No, it couldn't be because of that. It's just because of macroeconomic issues.
Macroeconomic. Oh, there were too many other blockbusters. That's why Disney's movies didn't perform.
They had 8, or it was 8 in 2019, 2020. 2019.
They all did $1 billion.
Yeah, but there's just too many blockbusters.
Too many.
It's called people are making movies people want to see, and Disney's not.
That is exactly it. So here's the thing: the Barbenheimer argument blows all of this out of the water because people turned out for Mario. They turned out for Spider-Verse. They turned out for Barbie. They turned out for Oppenheimer. They're just not turning out for Disney. Anything Disney. I think right now, the general public's opinion of Disney is so negative that people are actively boycotting Disney movies that are actually decent. We did a review of The Haunted Mansion. It was actually a decent movie.
I felt bad because I saw Lorena Creole talking about it and people were like, keep saying about it because it's so black, it's so black, it's so... It's not. It's not woke. I'm sorry.
It wasn't.
It's not. There happened to be some of the main leads were black, but it's in New Orleans.
I know, right?
Okay. But beyond that, a bunch of the leads were not black. They had a bunch of white people that were in lead roles as well. So it was not. And then here's the thing that what definitely tells you it's not. They never mention race.
It never comes up.
It never was meant to be a woke agenda. Did we mention the black? Did we mention the cast as black? Hey, guess what? Black. Now the director says some stuff on the other side, like I couldn't have a black man die because of blah, blah, blah. And yeah, it might be the case. But the movie itself wasn't that way.
See, that's the thing too. And that's kind of like the situation with Disney just in general. I think
everybody expects it to be that way.
Yeah. And I think that, part of the negotiating with the strikes right now, I think it needs to include a clause where they need to shut the directors, the actors, shut these people down because your people are actually doing more damage, preemptive damage to your box office by running at the mouths on social media, running at the mouths during interviews, they had Harrison Ford saying stuff about, what I'm saying? They were trying to manipulate him.
Trick him into it and he wasn't falling for it.
Well, I hate Nazis. I'd totally punch.
He met real ones.
Actual Nazis. I think most people hated actual Nazis,
Right. Not liking, a cartoon doesn't make you a Nazi.
Well, if I saw one of those YouTubers in person, I'd punch him in the face. No, that's not what he was saying. And they did this to poor Stan Lee, too. Stan Lee, they manipulated him into saying something that they ran with and saying, this is an anti-comic statement because these people are just a bunch of bigots and homophobes.
Because they assume. I can't tell you how many times that they make assumptions. I've seen people that were not white. You're just a white supremacist. Or they're women. You're just a misogynist. And it's like, no. But there's that one guy, Dave Rubin, you said?
Oh, Dave. Yeah, they were actually running with Dave. Now, I don't really watch Dave Rubin that much, but they were running with the story that Dave Rubin was a known anti-LGBTQ plus internet personality, and it was on some Media Matters or something. And he hates gay people. The dude is married to another dude.
I know, right?
He's openly gay, but whatever.
Because people can't understand that if you don't agree with their perspective, they have to label you as something you're not to make it so they can dismiss you. And the problem Disney's having, speaking of that, is that people are automatically assuming Disney movies are going to be a certain way now because Disney has set that precedent that the movies are going to be very agenda-driven films. And I think people are like, I don't want to go if it is. So even when there one comes up that happens to be diverse, but it is not shoved down your throat, people automatically are going to assume it's because, it's going to be diverse, it's going to be shoved down your throat. But it isn't. And I think that's hurting them.
What's really weird about this, though, too, this is coming from We Got This Covered, which is a pretty progressive publication, right? They didn't put in the title because they probably didn't want to get attacked on Twitter. Yeah. But the movie that passed Indiana Jones at the box office was Sound of Freedom. but they can't put like Sound of Freedom destroyed Indiana Jones. They can't put that in the headline.
They could, but they don't have the guts to.
Yeah, most of the people that attack you and dogpile you on Twitter never read beyond the headlines.
Right,
so.
because they, for whatever reason, they decided that this was some alt-right agenda film. And then, you know, so that's the narrative now. It isn't, I don't think, but, you know, people are like running with it.
If everybody else is making money, and that seems to be the case, everybody else made money this summer, Disney, except for you. The problem is you. It's not that the money's not there. It's that nobody's giving it to you. Mm-hmm. They don't like you. They've turned on you. And you've done a lot to sour goodwill, regardless of if it's a political thing or the fact that people don't like their favorite movies being remade into live action, or people don't like to see the state of Marvel and Star Wars right now. They're pissed off about the theme parks. Whatever the issue is, it's a you problem, Disney. People are actively turning away from Disney. Actively turning away. I mean, there's no other way to view this. Everybody else is making money. All these other movies are making money.
The other theme parks are making money.
All the other theme parks are doing very well.
They're doing well. Like their numbers are up.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not really sure about SeaWorld, but I know Universal Orlando is. And then, you know, Disney is just falling off a cliff.
Yeah. So it's you. It's consumers are actively rejecting Disney. And yeah, if they don't do a major course correction pretty soon, they're going to die. They're going to die.
The problem they're going to have is to do a course correction, they're going to have to walk back some of the things that they've come out and said. And to do that, they don't want to do that because then everybody's going to be like, haha. You know, and they don't want to do that. They want to save face. That's
exactly it. Disney, it's hubris is going to be its undoing because they are not, and we've seen it. You know, Bob Iger's
hubris is going to be their undoing.
Bob Iger's hubris. He is doubling, tripling down on things that don't work. He is not willing to admit that they effed up. You know?
They're raising prices. They're
because they're Disney
and charging more.
The same attitude that he had toward Galaxy's Edge. If you guys don't, and we've talked about it multiple times, but if this is the first time hearing it, when Galaxy's Edge was going to open, he said he did not need to advertise Galaxy's Edge. It was Star Wars. It was Disney.
It would advertise itself.
It would advertise itself, and it was empty the first couple of months in Disneyland. You know, because he is that confident that the Disney brand is that valuable. And I got news for you, Bob. It is not nearly as valuable as it used to be.
No, and a lot of poor decisions is what led it to this point. And under Bob Iger, honestly. I mean, Chapek had his fair share too, but most of the things that Chapek gets blamed for were Iger. And some of the things they made it more complicated with Genie Plus and charging more, and they're trying to get more blood out of that rock. And the problem is, and they were going after the whales, and the problem is you just chased away your core audience. You chased away the families. You chased away people, you know, who wanted to go saved a lot of money to go and could afford it. Now that you made it unaffordable for most people, Disneyland's doing better because it is a locals park. I mean, Disney World is more one that everybody like saves up money and goes to. Like Disneyland, they do too, but it's not so much so. It's more like people in the nearby in the local states and stuff that are close to it are the ones that go there the most. The Disney World is like opposite. It's like everybody goes there because it's huge and it's a big thing. And Disney just nickel and dimed and priced people out. I know I was talking to Lorena Creel about. She went to Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party and covered it for us because she was going to be there. And I said, okay, yeah, can you just cover this thing for us? And one of the things she said was it was back to being crowded again. They're back to shoving too many people in. And so the big selling point is, well, you're going to have lower crowd levels. You can ride rides. But then you had a virtual queue for Tron because they had too many people shoved in. They were selling out of stuff on opening day. The food and stuff was not there, not enough to make it because they were cutting back, and they sold out. Packed too many people in, and they're going back to bad experiences for a premium price, and they say that they can charge that price, and they've raised the price on these events several times. They got raised again this year, and their logic is, well, we keep you're paying more because there's less people, so it's a better experience for you until you shove in enough people so it's a crowd level of 7. Which we've been there when they did it. So where's the value, Bob? There isn't any.
No, there isn't, and people are moving on. There are too many options now to waste your time with entertainment that doesn't entertain you anymore. If it's no longer fun, if it's no longer giving you that the warm fuzzies inside, then it's time to move on.
Well, that's the thing. They've made Walt Disney World so convoluted. They're walking some of it back finally, but they made it so convoluted and expensive that it's confusing and it's difficult and it's frustrating, and then it's hot on top of it, and people aren't getting the warm fuzzies. They're getting the, oh fuck, I'll never come back to this park ever.
People have said that. They've actually had multiple articles about people that have gone to Disney for the first time with, you know, post-pandemic with the Genie Plus, and they're like, I am never going back. You can't
get on stuff. I mean, you can, but unless you know what you're doing, it's very difficult, and you don't get to ride as much. And that's just the truth, because they made it pay to play. Because they're flipping greedy, and they're losing money. And instead of figuring out, like, hey, you know, maybe we need to fix our problems, no, we'll just charge more and then complain that there's problems. Now, look, again, I want to make it clear. I know I speak for Neon, too, when I say this. We, you know, would love to see Disney go back to what it was like 15, 20 years ago. You know, go back to that. Go back to being a family-friendly company. And then family applies to people of all different, you know, identities, right? It's not just, you know, only straight white people. That's not what that means. But you focus on family first. And then, you know, it just happens to diverse organically or whatever. Okay, fine, whatever. That, and then affordability and, you know, quality. Disney was the Disney difference for a reason. It's no longer the Disney difference for that reason. It's for a bad reason. You know, we want to see it go back to what it was. I don't know if it can. Not under current leadership.
Not under current leadership, and that's I don't even know what you would do to fix it. I mean, Disney's been.
I don't know what you can fix it either. How you can fix it either.
Disney's been in a bad place before, but they always had the creative. They always had creatives at the helm that could steer it out of the situation it was in, and we don't have that anymore. They've all left.
I know how they can fix it. Here's a couple things they can do to fix it. One, roll the prices back for the theme parks. You know, if you're not going to roll the ticket prices back, then roll back the Genie Plus prices or not use the Genie Plus. So I'll go back to Fast Pass, which you're not going to do. Roll back the prices on the food or the souvenirs if you're not going to roll back the ticket prices, but roll back prices to make it more affordable for people. You keep offering deals, but your deals aren't really deals because your stuff's already overpriced. Yeah. Cancel all live action remakes, especially if they're theatrical releases. Just get rid of them. Try to do some new creative things. Try to go back to animation. Try to go back to family-friendly films. I think Wish actually might be pretty good, and it looks like it might be like they're trying to reverse course. But the problem now is it's going to take years to reverse course on anything because we have the strikes too.
Yeah, and that's going to be another video. Like, things are pretty bad. They're possibly canceling some movies right now, and that's not going to help. They're pushing everything back a couple of years.
Right. Yeah. Lower prices on Disney Plus and Hulu, and then cancel some of the shit you have coming out that no one's going to watch. Rethink your slate for Marvel and Disney and focus on characters people are going to watch and good stories first instead of agenda and these people that are like talking about, oh my God, you know, like it was my fanfic. No. Don't do that. Gag people who are out there actively causing you problems. I mean, the ones that work for you, not us. We used to work there, and you didn't want our kind, so you get what you get. Release the vault. Release more from the vault that you promised.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you go on and on.
Releasing stuff from the vault. The problem with releasing more from the vault is people are going to look at the old stuff and be like, why is this old stuff so much better than most of the stuff they're producing
Release the
now?
old stuff instead of making the live action remakes.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, do that. Do new things. Like we used to get things like Mr. Boogedy and things like that, you know, for like, you know, the Wonderful World of Disney. Bring back Disney's Halloween Treat, make a new version of it or something like that. Do things like that. Go back to what you used to do that people loved. And then keep in mind, people if you say you're for the people, like we understand that times are tough. People don't have as much money. So we're going to work with you. You know, you might have, you probably get a lot more people on board than raising prices on them yet again for giving them, you're charging them more while giving them less. I mean, these ideas might be, you know, I'm just telling you, you might not agree, and that's completely fine. You might have other ideas that are even better than mine.
Just burn it down.
That's what a lot of people want to see. A lot of people want to see burn down.
I never thought, I mean, I know people are annoyed by Disney. I know there are always a lot of people that didn't really like Disney that much, but I've never seen, I have personally, in my 40 plus years on this earth, I have never seen this level of just outright hatred for this company. I don't think I've ever seen this level of hatred for any one entertainment company.
No.
Ever.
Oh, get rid of Kathleen Kennedy.
Oh, yeah.
Get George Lucas back if you can, but I don't think you're going to be able to.
Hell no.
You know, or sell it to somebody who actually can do it and gives a shit. Anyway, I'm sorry, I went long.
Lots of free options, free advice there, guys, and you're not going to take any of it. I know you're not, but that's okay.
But if you listened to us 5 years ago, you might have reverse course a little bit. And your stocks wouldn't be in the shitter.
So many lifelong Disney fans told them they were headed for an iceberg, and they wouldn't listen. So here we are. Now we got MatPat making videos about the House of Mouse burning down.
Another thing you can do, annual passes. When you do annual passes and you're in Florida, you can make payments every month. If you're not a Florida resident, you can't. You might get a lot more annual passes sold to people who would actually use them if they can make payments on the annual passes and not live in Florida.
That's true. Yeah, Universal does that.
Universal does. Yeah. A lot of other places do. Sorry, I'm just pointing that out too. I'll stop now.
Okay, we're going to wrap this up.
Yes.
Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. We'll talk later.
Bye.